Today I want to talk about a topic that will eventually affect all of us: loneliness. You cannot escape it. It happened to me. I had my hard times, but luckily I found some strategies that helped me. But in this episode, I want to speak with you about what causes loneliness and which strategies actually work when you feel lonely to feel better. Let's brainstorm a bit. What's the difference between being alone and feeling lonely? I think being alone is a good thing. And if this is you, congrats. Basically, you won. I think if you can be all by yourself with your mind, with your thoughts, without going crazy, without being super negative all the time, you basically are set for life. But not everyone can be alone, and a lot of us then start to feel lonely. But loneliness itself, I think it's also kind of complex if you think about it. You can feel super lonely while in a crowded place or surrounded by friends. In a nightclub, you can feel lonely when you're actually alone as well. So it's super complicated. I think it's connected to, do you think people actually understand you? Do they relate to you as a person? I think having a group of people that share your hobbies and everything in between, I think this sort of connection is the difference between feeling lonely or not. But there are different situations where you can be alone and feel lonely at the same time. For me, I moved to a new city for a new job, and that actually was a great opportunity. I couldn't wait to meet new people, like-minded people, to just basically reinvent it myself and my life. But unfortunately, COVID happened and everything shut down. And then it was almost like a prison. I was in a new city. I knew no one and I couldn't meet new people because everything was closed. And that was a very rough time for me personally. And I think that was the first time in my life where I really felt lonely and I had to deal with, a lot of demons that I had inside of me. And what I tried first was, hey, let me just jump on social media. Let's try to find some groups, like-minded people and so on. But social media, while it always claims to connect us, I think we need to be super careful with social media, because there's a big dark side about it and it can actually make you feel worse. We get to that point later on, but now that we kind of understand what loneliness is, what the difference. But the tricky part about loneliness, and this is something you need to understand, is loneliness is a silent battle. Like, you do not see this internal struggle that people are having every day with themselves. Like, you just don't know. And the problem with us grown up adult people is we are so good in just, putting on a mask and going to our jobs or just going through life without sharing our emotions and how we feel. But if you keep that shit all the time inside, man, that's basically gonna haunt you or bite you in the back eventually. So sometimes now, for example, when I spend time with my niece, it's amazing how children are freely expressing the way they feel with their face, with their body language, with everything. You can immediately tell how they feel. And I think we should do the same thing. But there's also this saying, like, don't judge a book by its cover. And it's the same thing. Like, people can be angry, annoying, like treat you very bad, but you don't know what kind of struggle they're currently having. They might be actually dealing with loneliness and they think nobody understands them, and that's why they lash out. I don't know. Can happen. But why we don't want to tell someone, hey, I feel lonely, I'm struggling right now? I think we're still embarrassed about negative emotions, and we shouldn't be. I think that's super ridiculous. It's like when I'm having a cold, right? If I'm sick, physically sick, I'm not embarrassed to talk also to a doctor or a specialist or to my friends. But when you're having mental issues and you feel isolated, I don't know. I think we should speak up and don't be embarrassed anymore. And that's why I do the content that I'm doing. That's why we speak about this topic, because it's so important. And the tricky part about the silent battle of loneliness is the longer you wait, the worse it gets. It just doesn't get easier. The more you're isolated, I think the stranger you also start to behave. You're a little bit antisocial over time. Obviously, you don't interact with people. And then when you have the chance to interact with people, you just behave awkward. You don't know how to behave anymore. which makes the problem bigger, stronger. And then in the end, you're just scared to leave the house and talk to people because you don't know how it works anymore. So we need to stop this from happening. But even if it happened to you, don't worry about it. Like, there's always ways on how we can overcome this. One thing that really causes, okay, now we know many people struggle, but what actually causes loneliness? One thing that can cause loneliness, depression, and anxiety, and there are many studies out there that can prove that, is social media. Yeah, social media always promises us to like connect us. But in the end, if you ask me, for most of us, social media makes us just feel worse. Like, you sit on your couch feeling awful, like with fatty hair, you haven't showered in 3 days. And then you see your friends on tropical beaches, getting engaged, driving fancy cars, and God knows what. It will make you feel like, what the fuck? Like, why is my life like that and they have a better life? Reality, again, loneliness is a silent battle. Maybe they show that kind of content, they show those kind of stories, but maybe they're still struggling. Most likely they're struggling, I hope not. But we all eventually have our problems. But they would never share that with the world. That's the first thing you need to keep in mind. Don't constantly compare yourself with other people because, I don't know, it also makes you not, most of us are not happy for our friends if they share those kind of things on social media. We kind of get angry. Like, maybe it even prevents you from reaching out and saying, hey, congrats, all the best for you. Instead of being like, shit, like, I wish my life would be like this. And man, I don't text him. Like, we basically ourselves from our friends, and that's just a shitty thing to do. And in the end, social media, it distracts you from having the real life experiences. I think it happened to you because it happened to me and all of us. Sometimes we're in a restaurant, like we have a nice, I don't know, experience, but the only thing we care about is to take a nice picture. And even if we look shitty in the picture, we need to retake this picture 100 times until we look great, because we always in the back of our head think we need to share this with social media. But I don't think we need to share it. It's just a memory for you and your friends. And if you look shitty, smile about it. Like, in 10 years, you can look back on this photo and just have a good time. Not everything needs to be perfect, curated for the perfect life on social media. Instead, that's another point if you think about it. When you spend time with friends in a restaurant, you need to be in the moment and you need to enjoy the moment. If you're not in the moment and you think about other things, you can feel super lonely and isolated while spending time with your friends because you're not there. You're just physically you're there, but mentally you're not there. And that's the problem. You can never enjoy and build those real connections with your friends, family, and also strangers that you meet if you're not in the moment, if you constantly are somewhere else mentally. And worst case, like, you only think about social media. Therefore, but how can we stop this? Digital detox, guys. Just put your phones down for a second, for some days. Don't overthink it. Don't make it overcomplicated. I'm not a monk telling you like just get rid of all technical stuff. No, that's too extreme. I'm not a big friend of extremes, but it's important to, if it's too much, just don't use social media. Don't use your phone from time to time. Just try to be more present and be in the moment. Okay, but let's just assume you're struggling, you have literally no one to talk to, you don't have any friends, and you don't know how to change your situation to the better. You need to find your tribe. And what do I mean by that? Finding your tribe is really finding like-minded people that have the same hobby as you, that like maybe you want to speak about one topic for, I don't know, like 3 hours, and you cannot stop speaking about it. If you find someone who's equally crazy in a positive way like you, that's like, I don't know, that just cannot stop talking about this topic, that would be your tribe. Sounds easier than done, right? It sounds super easy to find your tribe. I know in reality it's not. Trust me, for me, I moved to the new city, I knew no one, and then lockdown happened. But if I stopped there, I would have never made connections and friends. So I found my way out of this situation and I found my tribe. What did I do? I just restarted a hobby that I didn't do for many years actually, which is soccer, football, however you want to call it. But I knew I enjoyed doing it in the past, and now it was time to just do it again. And eventually I found a very, very nice group, actually international group, that I meet now every week to play soccer. It's super fun to do, and in the end I made so many friends out of it, and it just feels great, no? To find you finally a tribe again. And actually it's not awkward, it's not weird. You don't need to go go on the street and approach people, hey, you want to be my friend? That can be creepy. By the way, I also did that. I spoke to people in bars when I just entered it alone. Was uncomfortable. Do I regret it? I do not. Were the people super friendly and open-minded? No, I got rejected most of the times, but it's fine. Eventually you need to try things that work for you. I would say whatever your hobby is, whatever you enjoy doing, just go to meetings. You will find them somewhere. Just go there, do that. Anime convention, there might be anime bookstore, whatever. Just find your people, and then you will find those real connections that are actually real and that feel good to have. But if it's hard for you to really go this step, to go out of your comfort zone and to meet people, I think then the least that you should do is really enjoy your solitude. You can enjoy being alone without feeling lonely. And how do you do that? Just be gentle to yourself and ask yourself, what do I like? What is good for me mentally, physically, and what maybe I haven't done in a very long time. For example, exercise, go to the spa. But if it's hard for you to really go out of your comfort zone and meet people, I think the first step is at least to enjoy the time that you have while you're being alone until you can change the situation. And I always say you need to get to know yourself better. Just don't distract yourself constantly by checking social media, watching Netflix, Disney Plus, and so on. In the end, just shut down everything. Think about what do you like to do, what brings you joy, and what is good for you mentally and physically. Because I never understood, for us, sometimes celebrities and their lives, we know more about them than we know about ourselves, and we need to change that. So, as an example, physically, for me, it's good to exercise, to go to the spa from time to time. That's good physically. Mentally, what's good for me? I like to be creative. I like to draw. I like to read books. I like to record videos. I like to edit videos. For you, it might be, I don't know, anime. God knows, something else. I don't know. But in the end, whatever you do, video games, just do it and enjoy the time, because better times are coming. You will not be alone and lonely forever, but make the most out of the time that you have when you cannot change your situation immediately. Very nice, and I would say secret hack that actually helps you when you feel lonely is to help other people, because there's no such feeling, there's not a better feeling in the world than helping other people. It can be, hey, you know no one, but you can volunteer. You can, I don't know, take care of animals in the zoo. You can help elderly people that need help, like if you buy groceries for them, whatever it is. But helping other people just fills you up with joy, makes you feel amazing. And maybe you just get to know those people that you need in your life while doing those activities, right? You never know. My dad always used to tell me nothing, like no one is saving you. No one is coming to rescue you. Like if you want change, you need to leave your apartment. Otherwise, how do you expect the situation to change? I know it's tough. I know it can feel super, super heavy, but if I can do it, you can do it. I promise you that. But if you have the feeling you cannot change your situation that easily, you cannot find your tribe, you have social anxiety, for you it's hard to leave your home, then it's always worth seeking professional help. Also, don't be embarrassed about that. I would say all of us, and I repeat, all of us need therapy. And people that say they do not need it, they are lying, or they have no clue what's happening in therapy. It will help you. Just speak about it, and those are experts that can actually guide you now to do all those steps. And whatever tips I give you here and that I describe, if this is too hard for you to actually do, those experts can help you to break your social anxiety or whatever the limitations is. But I would say most of us are just in a rough time in our life. I would say it starts usually when you end when school ends. I think it usually starts when school ends and you need to move away. All your friends move away. And then for the first time ever in your life, you need to basically figure out how to make friends without automatically being just classmates, and you become friends eventually. And then you need to move to a new city. That's a challenge, right? Studying somewhere else, I think that can be quite easy because it's like kind of like school and you can, I don't know, easily speak to people and find your tribe. But it can be tough. And for other people, it's when you're getting old, right? If you're too old and maybe your friends are already dead or God knows what happened. But if you're old, it can get lonely as well. But it's a different topic that I don't want to tackle today. If I need to sum up, we all will feel lonely. It's a silent battle. Be nice to other people, help other people, volunteer, because you never know what kind of battles they are right now having inside themselves. Be careful with social media. While it promised that it connects us, in the end I think it distracts us from things that really matter, and most things that actually matter are happening offline when it comes to human connection and just emotions in general. So put down your phone, take a break, take a digital detox, don't overthink it, don't listen to any gurus that say, oh, don't touch your phone, just do what works for you. Then think about what things do you actually like to do, how can you meet people super easily, smooth sailing. That should be, for example, doing your hobby. That's it, basically just do your hobby. Right, and then join groups that have the same hobby as you, and then you will find people. I promise you that. And if you cannot change it immediately, enjoy the time you have with yourself, because in this time you can work on yourself and still have a good time. The rest will come. And if it's too hard for you, like I said, seek professional help. I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. To be honest, I'm now enjoying more talking freely to you guys, so I don't have a script in front of me. I just want to enjoy the creative process. I hope there were helpful tips for you. If something was helpful for you, please share this with someone in need. And yeah, see you on the next one. Have a good time and don't give up.